Okay, Grote, what do we need to know from Halas Hall today?
Got a few things right off the bat. Have a fresh injury report in my hands. Got a chance to watch the Bears practice today. Was in the locker room, so I have all sorts of stuff for you. But I will start with that injury report because we see, again, Grady Jarrett, a DNP, did not practice because of that knee. Cairo Santos did not practice. As we know, it's his right thigh. His kicking leg is still hurt, so it seems to be trending towards another Jake Mooney week this Sunday when the Saints are in town at noon. You guys know that Noah Sewell, the linebacker, is in concussion protocol, so he did not practice. Does not look like a quick fix necessarily for him in terms of the protocol. DJ Moore did practice today. He was considered limited, did not see DJ in the locker room today. Hopefully he will speak to the masses tomorrow, but things seem to be trending in the right direction with him. DeAndre Swift joins the injury report with a groin injury. He did practice today, but did not go all out, limited. And then full practices again this week, guys, for Austin Booker and Travis Homer. They are in the midst of their 21-day window to return from the injured reserve list. Some people thought they were going to return last week. I would be surprised if one or both did not return to play this week.
Wow. Okay. There's a lot there. It makes sense to not rush Cairo Santos when you have Jake Moody and when you've made it clear that it's Cairo's job when he comes back. So, well, you've made it clear.
Yeah, you've made it clear.
Oh, listen to you. Listen to Lawrence there. But hey, let's talk about Grady Jarrett. This is a long time now without Grady Jarrett being able to get on the field.
Hi, Shamar Turner.
He just can't seem to get that knee healthy. So, I mean, that's a while. Have you seen Grady Jarrett around? What are people talking about?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question on what's going on with Grady because he is, one thing that we've learned early on this season, while we haven't seen necessarily the big impact on the field, whether because of injury or just ineffectiveness, he is kind of the voice of that locker room. Like if there is one guy that is starting to rise up in that regard, and we know, you guys know from hearing from Grady Jarrett, even from day one, he does like to be a leader, but, he was only in there briefly today in the locker room, and I'll just say right now, I do not have a good feeling about Grady Jarrett playing this week. I don't think it's necessarily going to be an injured reserve thing. We're have to be out for 4 weeks, so I'm maintaining a little bit of optimism in that regard. But this does seem to be something where the Bears are, let's just say, making sure that Grady Jarrett is okay, give him the time off, and then hopefully eventually he is full force. But certainly something to continue to monitor Grady Jarrett.
We didn't see Washington go after Tyreek Stevenson a lot in the game last week. What do you think that means?
That was the exact line of questioning that I had for Tyreek Stevenson today, for good old number 29. He has gone from Lawrence being picked on to being ignored. Here's Tyreek.
Is it a point of pride for you at all when teams are not going at you? They're not going to your side of the ball, like it felt like in the Washington game for at least half of that game?
Feels good, to know I'm out there doing my job, but definitely want the ball to come my way any chance I get. They pay you for interception, so any way they can throw it, to get it to me, I want to be able to put myself in a position to make the plays. But at the end of the day, if I'm not getting targeted, that's a good thing as well.
You think about your progress this year, where you had 2 rough games to start the year, and now 3 in a row that have been good, to the point again where they're not throwing towards your direction as much.
I just feel like it's just like the level I want to. The first 2 games, just coming in, getting the rust off and everything like that with my new situation outside this building. And then me being able to look myself in the mirror after the game of Detroit and tell myself that, this wasn't, this is not who I am, and this is not who I want to prove to the world who I am this year. And I feel like that's just what it is.
When you say your situation outside of the building, you talk about having a child, or is there more to it? Okay.
Yeah, I just had my first son, so building a relationship around that and allowing myself to get some sleep and making sure that I'm dad at home and also Tyreek in his building. So just trying to juggle that definitely plays a part in it.
It was a huge adjustment for you, wasn't it? It sounds like.
Yeah, definitely a huge adjustment. It's my first one, so.
Man, he ends up bringing it there because he's thinking about it all the time. His new life here, this new moment in time, and it's no coincidence.
Completely changed his perspective.
Yeah, he's got 100%, and that's what it can do. Greg Grote has changed his outlook on everything, including his job and the league.
Yeah, and I think that this is obviously, at least, we can perceive it this way or infer from what he's saying, that this has changed him for the better. Not that he was a bad citizen or bad guy in the locker room by any means whatsoever, but I think there comes a point in time in all of our lives, whatever the motivation is, you got to grow up. You got to grow up, and this is maybe what Tyreek Stevenson needed in that regard, because, again, this sounds like more positive than anything in terms of his life and the realization of what he is going through in his personal life and making sure his ducks are in a row on his. And I love the fact that even last week, like he's already anticipating his son, and maybe there'll be more children on the way down the road, that, we live in a world where they'll be able to see every single mistake and great thing that dad did. So it feels like since that Detroit loss, he's just been building a different resume.
The thing is, though, I would, if I have one quibble, I would say to Tyreek, hey, man, they actually do pay, even if you don't get interceptions. Jalen Johnson didn't have a bunch of interceptions, and he got paid for exactly the thing that you talked with Tyreek about. If they don't throw at you, they pay you too, Tyreek, so it's all good.
Mm-hmm. I think
But you know what? When people see that interception number, there's more teams that might look at it and say, oh, 7 interceptions, we could work with that. But point taken, Lawrence. I was thinking about Jalen Johnson because it seemed like that was the question so many times when we gathered around Jalen Johnson's locker. He'd be upset that guys, they weren't coming his way. He wants to be the one that covers the ace receiver, and I wasn't surprised to get that answer out of Tyreek Stevenson that he, of course, wants more action on his side.
The OG Kevin Byard, who knows culture change when he sees it. That's another guy you had a chance to talk to.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have noticed, guys. There's really no way to spin it. Like, the Saints are not good. Spencer Rattler is just okay. He likes to check down one read and check down. There's really, Alvin Kamara, obviously, Chris Olave. These are good players, but there's not a lot to hang your hat on when it comes to this team. So I thought the best person to talk to would be one of the vets of all vets in that locker room, Kevin Byard. It doesn't matter that the Saints are not good.
Drawing on all your experience in the league, are letdowns real? As in, you just beat a really good team on the road, and now you're playing a not-so-good team at home?
Letdown, I don't know if that's a term to use. I would just say that regardless of record, everybody in this league is a talented team. And on any given Sunday, you can lose to anybody, regardless of what the records are. And I look at a team like the Saints who's been getting better every single week. I know they lost last week, but they played a tough game against the Patriots, and obviously they beat the Giants. So as a team that I think they're gaining confidence, they have a lot of pride, on both sides of the ball. And they have talent everywhere, especially on the receiver side, a lot of speed out there. And obviously their run game. So I just think for us, we just have to go out there and make sure we handle business and not get caught up in the simple fact that, we're on a short week. We just had an emotional win in Washington. At the end of the day, nobody really cares. You know what I mean? And they're not going to take it easy on us. So we got to make sure we go out there and just handle our business at home, in Soldier Field.
I really like his perspective. That's exactly how I feel about the Saints, and I feel about this game, is that they have been playing better. And while I don't think they're good, I think that you have to acknowledge and make sure that you prepare for a team that at least plays hard. That's one thing that you can say about them.
It's an abrupt stop in the momentum and all the goodness that the Bears have accrued during this 3-game win. If you lose this game, this is not one of those things where it's like, the Bears are just rebuilding and they're trying to get. No, it would be a bad loss if the Bears were to falter against the Saints. So I thought it was really good to hear that. And I know Kevin Byard uses his voice in that locker room too. And I don't think there's many players who at this point feel like the Bears are not used to being like this group used to being over 500 relative to last year. So I don't think that most of the guys are going to be infected with the letdown down, but it was still good to hear that from Kevin Byard.
There are 9 quarterbacks in the NFL who are averaging more than 70% completion percentage. 9. There are 28 quarterbacks in the NFL ahead of Caleb Williams at 61.6%, Mark Grote.
Yeah, and, that was one of the first barometers that Ben Johnson put out there. I want my quarterback to have 70% completion percentage. That's what we expect. That's what we want. So that's what we're all monitoring, and we got to check up on that. As you just said, Matt, 61.6% completions. And Declan Doyle, the Bears offensive coordinator, talked about how can we get that just to be a little bit better.
What are you guys emphasizing to try to get that up for Caleb?
It's the same thing with his eyes and his post-snap operation. Being able to find your checkdowns, being able to tie your feet into your eyes, because a lot of those numbers get inflated when late in a play you're able to find an outlet and get those yards in third and fourth in the progression, catches the ball and he's catching and knifing. That's really a point of emphasis. Like, we're going to go out here to third down. If 1 and 2 get shut down, we have to continue playing through that progression and working to find 3, 4, and 5. And that really is how those numbers go up. It's process related. You can't just say, hey, you got to complete the ball. It's really, okay, well, how do I do that? And that's by, continuing to stick with, I'm 3, 4, 5 in the progression.
Yeah, that makes all the sense in the world. I don't know how well Caleb's doing in that regard, frankly. Mark, it's hard to figure out how much he's getting to 3, 4, and 5 in the progression.
Can I scare you guys with some numbers real quick?
Okay.
Yeah, scare the hell out of us, Lawrence. Go ahead.
Spencer Rattler and Caleb Williams have basically the same exact QBR and passer rating in the last 5 games. Spencer Rattler's QBR is 60.2. He's completing, as Grote points out, he's been doing a lot of checkdowns. He's completing 69% of his passes. Nice. Caleb, his QBR is 60.4. His rating is 98.6 over the last 5 games. Spencer Rattler's rating in the last 5 games is 98.5.
Man, yeah, it's.
I mean, honestly, that's like kind of just fun with numbers.
It is fun with numbers, Craig. Where you been? Where you been? Counts.
Speaks too to answer your question about where is Caleb in terms of his progression. I think there's some and this is okay. I don't think this is a bad thing. I think there's some conflict with Caleb at times. For example, the play where he threw the bomb down the field to Roma Dunze, where there was 2 defenders. It was a jump ball, and it wouldn't have been the end of the world if it was intercepted because you're deep in Washington's own territory. But
and for context, we do need to point this out. Yeah. That was the second farthest thrown ball in the NFL this season.
No, that's the first one you're talking about. The
one that he underthrew, right, in double coverage.
No,
yeah.
But there's 2 because I thought the second farthest throw was the one that he threw short at the beginning of the game. I thought.
Oh, my bad.
Right? I think that. So
wait, which one is Grote talking about?
Grote is talking about the double coverage one on the goal line.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
my bad. That's on me. That's on me.
That's all good.
It's all good.
That's all good.
Tanny.
We
That's
got you
on
back.
me.
Yeah, he heaved it down the field, and that's a spot where he probably, obviously, it's very easy to say now, should have checked down. Sometimes he's checked down, Matt, in spots where you can circle and see, yep, this guy was open and that guy was open. You might have done that. So I do think that that's one of those things that he will and can get better at. That's not one of those things where you either have it or you don't. I just think that, there's a lot in his brain right now in terms of wanting to take those downfield shots, which are absolutely imperative in this offense, and checking down and making a play like he did to DeAndre Swift, where DeAndre Swift runs for 45 yards after catching a 10-yard ball, or the play to Olamide Zaccheaus that was missed that could have been a 90-yard play. Those are good examples of good checkdowns, but I still think there's a little conflict in his head on when to check down and when to go for it all.
We have asked this question of previous quarterbacks under previous regimes. Can familiarity with the scheme and comfort level lead to better accuracy? And I've always been told yes, and I still believe it. And I believe it for Caleb. I believe that if he gets more familiar and more comfortable, he can be more accurate as the weeks go on. And he needs to be.
Yeah, and he is, as we found out, I think it was more pronounced than ever this week, that his comfort with Ben Johnson and the play calling and what he's asking. Like, the buy-in is real. Like, obviously the buy-in was not real last year, and you could kind of tell. I think all of us have been in enough locker rooms and talked to enough athletes when you could tell that the buy-in is just giving a company line and saying what everybody else is saying. Caleb Williams is saying unique things about his head coach, and there's a genuine like for what he's doing, which is good because Ben Johnson is going to continue to be hard on Caleb Williams and continue to add things to his plate.
What about the defense? Because it is coordinator day.
It is coordinator day. Dennis Allen spoke today, as I told Layla and Marshall today. He did not want to play the Saints are coming to town, the team that he was a part of that organization for 15 years. He just didn't want to play on that. Like, he was nice and cordial about it, but Dennis Allen, he's about what's next, and what's next is continuing to stop the run. The Bears did a better job at it against Washington. So how do you keep doing it? What's the key? Why is it going well? And then you will get a little bit more from Dennis Allen as well in a follow-up.
I think our guys did a really good job of going out and executing the plan and really run defense. It's not as complicated as a lot of people might think it is. It gets down to really fundamentals. It gets down to, being able to strike blocks, being able to get off of blocks, linebackers coming downhill, secondary guys getting off blocks, keeping the ball inside. All those kinds of things are important. And so it really was more about us playing with our fundamentals and our technique, and I thought our guys did a good job of that last week.
What's been key to just stacking up the takeaways?
It comes from preparation. That's the first thing. You're looking for your opportunities where you have an opportunity to make plays. You can't play every play on every play. You have to look for tactical clues that tell you where your opportunities might come to make a play, and then when those opportunities present themselves, you got to be able to take advantage of it. You have to create population around the ball.
Create population around the ball.
That's pretty good. I gotta write that down.
Right?
Seriously, I wrote that down too.
That's
Create
money.
population around the ball.
Absolutely.
I'm glad. Okay, so you guys had not heard that. I had not heard that phraseology either. And sometimes I'm like, am I behind on what everybody in the NFL is saying? I'm glad to hear you guys had not heard that.
I mean, this just feels like you're saying rally to the ball differently.
Yeah.
It is.
But rally to the ball is when the ball's stable. When it's like, oh, okay, well, there's the ball carrier. Let me do that. Creating population, I guess it is the same thing.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. But it's
Is
fun.
it like with the townspeople, like the townspeople of Lake Forest, we must create more population
and you procreate
around him?
You procreate. So there's
absolutely.
there's people having sex and having kids, I think is what it means.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
Population around the ball.
Damn right.
I do not think that's what it is.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Come
not.
on. Let's
Not
go.
what's going on?
It's time to go back to civics class for you, sir.
I don't think you learned that in civics.
You never hung out in my civics class.
I love Lawrence when you have to settle Spiegel down. It's my favorite.
That's why he's here. Thank God he's here.
Settle down, Spiegel.
Very much why I'm here.
Simmer down. Somebody got to tell me to simmer down.
Think about it every day.
Yeah, but before you get out of control. And I know I don't help. I don't help.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You're an instigator.
I am.
You know what you are? You're a multiplier. That's what you are.
Force multiplier, Mark Grote. Put it on his business card. Oh, by the way,
effect.
the Grote effect is apparently, if you are a university, you are all about Mark Grote. This segment with Mark Grote is sponsored by UI Health. Jeez, man, he's got everything going on.
Colleges love you. You just
Colleges, medical schools, places where people treat people. It's great. Shout out to UI Health.
You got any nuggets? How's DJ Moore's groin? To your knowledge.
Well, it's really disappointing. Did not see DJ Moore in the locker room today. However, I did go up to Roma Dunze, whose locker is right next to DJ Moore, and I just said, I pointed to DJ Moore's locker. I go, is he okay? Is he all right? And Rome was smiling, and he said, he's great. He's better than he's ever been. And I don't know. I sensed a little sarcasm in his tone. The big smile on Rome's face, got the hair flopping all over the place, and just he is great. He's fine, Mark. Don't worry about this guy.
I would just, again, say to anyone, look up the word torsion.
That's trouble.
And it might give you an indication of what's been going on with DJ Moore since Monday night.
Use your imagination, and you're probably right.
Because in my history, if someone has to go to the hospital with a groin injury, it's been one of two things. Either it's the Tommy Harris, and the groin is off the bone, and you're done. But if a guy comes back, it was probably a little, he got hit in the cup maybe, and maybe things got a little twisted.